Shalom, shalom to the family. Street baptism back with more beautiful wisdom that we believe comes directly from the Father through his son, Yeshua or Yahusha or Yahushai HaMashiach, which is the anointed high is the, and Mashiach is anointed or consecrated. Much love to the family trying to follow in his footsteps in truth and sincerity with all humility and no pride, loftiness, or haughtiness. So we back with another video concerning the Hebrew characters. We're going to get straight into it. This is the Hebrew character Dalet. Dalet is the fourth character, so the numeric equivalent for Dalet is 4. And this Dalet is this is what it looks like as far as the modern script or the Aramaic script. And some of these might look a little different, but I do want to make this point. Some of these characters might look the same. So this, I'm going to just do this real quick because this character might look like this, but understand there's a slight difference at the top right hand corner and how you write it if you was jotting it down or writing it. So don't mix up these two along with other characters that might look the same. It's another one I believe that looks like this, and it's other characters that might look the same, like the hay and the tau and the hate. But we'll get into that later. Here's the Dalet. This is the modern script again. Let's look at the paleo script or the pictograph. The pictograph is the picture writing. Praise the Father. That's what pictograph means. The Dalet. So it's interesting, right? All the characters are significant, but the ones that come first are more significant because they're not in order like this for nothing. We know that the Most High is a God or a power of pure order. So the Dalet is literally the door for the bait. The Dalet is the door for the tent, and the bait, as we went through it, is the tent floor plan. So what does the Dalet represent? Well, let's look and see. What does it mean? Let's look and see. So the Dalet, the numeric equivalent for it is 4. There's the Aramaic script. There's the pictograph for it, or the paleo. And it means a door. That's what it means. It can represent movement or going back and forth in and out of the tent. So with that being said, it can also represent a separation from inside and outside, not like the hate, because the hate, as we're going to get into that later, is the wall for the tent, which represents the separation of elements, you being inside, being safe or sound from, like rain, snow, hail, etc., etc. So this represents, it can represent a back and forth movement. It can represent an entrance as well as entering the tent. But it also could represent, as we go here, as y'all can see, again, some of these look different. What else do we have? It also can represent, it says Dalet from Dal. It also can represent, again, movement. It can represent something hanging, because that door for the tent is not a door that we would have for a house, because it's a tent, not a house that we like a modern house, quote unquote. So movement, hang, as the door hangs down. It also could represent an individual hanging their head down. So with that being said, this Dalet can represent humility, as somebody bowing or making themselves subject under the necks. Us being subject, praise the Father, to the Messiah being subject to the Creator in general, and the woman being under the men, as we read about that structure in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1 through verse 3. Oh, that's a beautiful beat right there. Praise Yah. So what else is right here? Right. It can also represent an entrance, again, the tent door. But the most significant over here at street baptism, we believe, meaning behind this Dalet is the humility, because the Bible says in Sirach chapter 10 and verse 12 and verse 13 that pride is the beginning of sin. What that means on the opposite hand, since the Bible teaches that it's 2 and 2 and 1 against another, and Sirach chapter 42, that means that the beginning of righteousness or uprightness has to be humility. On the opposite hand, Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 33, praise Yah. So this is the Dalet, the numeric equivalent being 4, and this is the meaning behind it. Again, we use this practically. So utilize your humility in everyday life. Understand doors, literally and figuratively. Pay attention. Feel what I'm saying? To what door you going in, what door you coming out of, what room you're entering in. Think about Monsters, Inc. Think about Monsters, Inc. Praise the Father. And if somebody has never heard of Monsters, Inc., that's an old Disney Channel movie. I was younger when that movie came out. I was a child, an actual child. Praise the Father. But if you haven't seen that, just type in Monsters, Inc. doors and try to relate that as best as you can to this Dalet and the meaning behind it. Praise the Father for his wisdom that he left us that we don't deserve. And with that being said, that's it for the Dalet. Street baptism gone.